At one forward, LeBron James. Playing in his first game in this season. The second this game starts, he'll become the first player in NBA history to play for 23 consecutive seasons.
LeBron is back, so let's put this historic night in perspective when it comes to longevity. Just 5 players made it 21 seasons in the league. Chris Paul, Kevin Garnett, Dirk, Robert Parrish, and Kevin Willis. Well, how about 22 seasons, you may ask? Just one name. Half man, half amazing. Vince Carter, who called it a career back in 2020. And after last night, one man stands alone atop this mountain with 23 seasons in the NBA, LeBron James. Hey, welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews, joined by our senior insider, Shams Charania, and a pair of NBA champs here, Danny Green, Kendrick Perkins. And last night, we got to see the return of LeBron, guys. I clearly left my voice in Crypto.com arena, Perk. What did you see?
Well, it's no words to describe what we saw last night but greatness. But I will say this. You lost your voice because you was laughing at me because I've been wearing this jacket every Wednesday. But to the world, let me say this. You're going to see this jacket, this finals jacket, OKC, every Wednesday until
Why
Wednesday? On NBA Today. Until
Wednesday
I see,
whites?
whatever you want to call it. Till I see otherwise of who out there. Who out there that I feel may dethrone.
Okay.
Well, maybe LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers have a little bit more of a case after getting whole last night. Let's get to the game action, right? Because after missing the first 14 games in the season, we're grooving.
Get down, Danny, get down.
This is my view of the chalk toss early on, the first chalk toss of his 23rd season. I fought for my positioning, guys.
That video. That's why you lost the voice.
Look at you.
It ain't because of Perk.
I see you right
I was
there.
boxing out, right?
He was moving and grooving at the game last night. Yeah, that's why you lost the voice.
So that was pregame. This is what happened in-game. This is what Lakers fans have been waiting for here, DG.
He's become a shooter in his old age. Learned a thing or two from your boy Danny Green.
Well, you have been waiting, Perk, to see this connection with Ayton. And it's actually not the first lob LeBron's thrown to him.
I was just telling him a fun fact. You know, he threw me an alley-oop. I said, that's my second alley-oop from you. The first one was when I was in 8th grade at your camp.
Ayton's low-key hilarious. Not the age jokes flying already. LeBron James, again, showing off his range here, Perk.
Absolutely, and looking comfortable stepping into that three-point shot. Look, they're gonna need him to do that, especially with the other ball handlers he has.
And with that, he passes Reggie Miller for 6th most in three-point field goals in NBA history. But here comes Austin Reeves.
Got the rookie flying.
8 minutes left in the third. LeBron, a little pump fake on the three. He's still got it.
Fade. One of his signatures.
Imposing his will there. And then under 7 minutes left here in the third, LeBron James once again. This is what you were breaking down the other day, Perk.
That's what I like to see, right? That slip, take advantage of that mismatch, little deep post up, and, you know, baby food.
Bully ball.
And when you got Doncic, it's just the cheat code.
Yeah, too good. And Kevin Love, sorry to put him on that island.
Luka, once again. By the way, Luka had 37 points, 10 assists. And maybe Doncic learning a little bit here from the LeBron school of dance as well.
Little pop lock.
I see
Macarena. The Lakers on full display here, kicking it out to Gabe Vincent.
Look at Braun pose.
He already knew.
Ready.
And he held that pose.
Tom Brady,
Cool
quarterback, right to the deep corner. Gabe Vincent.
LeBron
Like
James.
Shams out there yesterday.
Loving what he sees. Let's put the finishing touches on this one here, Perk.
Dom, back to Ayton again. He, does this so well. Getting out in transition, big Ayton running, doing his thing, that little cut right in the pocket.
But the most important question, hey, LeBron James, how are you feeling after game 1 of your 23rd season?
Win was a little shaky to begin. Obviously, that was expected, but as the game went on, my win got a lot better. Caught my second win, caught my third win. Rhythm is still coming back, obviously. First game in quite a while, almost 7 months. So, everything that happened tonight was as expected.
You're entering, this is year 23. You're now in it. You hadn't played basketball since April, and you come out and have 12 assists, 1 turnover against 7 guys who weren't even born when you did.
Wow,
Sorry.
I will really enjoy once I'm done to be able to look back and see some of the things I accomplished and the great group of guys I was around, the coaching staffs I was around when I was playing the game. So I can sit back and think about what you just said as far as 7 guys not being born when I started this journey. And, yeah, that just made my back hurt. So I got a few days before we play again, so I'll be okay.
Do we tell him 82 weren't born when he came into the league-wide here? But old man jokes aside here, LeBron James was an all-NBA player last season. So, Perk, how did he look to you last night?
He looked great, and everybody was wondering, was he going to go out there and go for 20 or 25 or 30? And then he reminded us that he's the best all-around player this game has ever seen. The assist is what stood out to me, right? And it was the assist to the big man. He had 12 assists. 5 of those assists was to Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton. Over the last 10 years, you know, he's ranked 5th in the last 10 years as far as assists to big man, with 1,230. That's the impact. Who's going to benefit the most is DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes, with LeBron James being back in his offense.
I mean, I love what I see, too. I can't disagree with Perk. The biggest
hard
thing,
to.
he was having fun. He was happy. He played a great floor game. You know, I expected him to come out a little bit more passive and kind of, but people doubted if he could fit in or who he can play with.
Yeah.
Even though LeBron James is a big ego or a big personality, he is a chameleon. He's been able to adapt to adjust to any situation. So he's going to give this team whatever it needs, whether it's defense, offense. And last night, they just needed a quarterback. And last night, that's what he did. He did a great job of playing the floor game, finding DeAndre Ayton, finding Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, Jake LaRavia, and doing all the little things. So I loved how he did that, not just for the first half, but the whole game, and didn't force the issue.
It seemed like maybe early on he eased into it a little bit. And Shams, you were reporting until just hours before tip-off how he had more steps that he wanted to make sure that he cleared. Was this decision actually close at all? How close was it?
Malika, ever since really mid-October, he was looking at mid-November. And really that game right after the Lakers road trip against the Utah Jazz last night as the potential game to come back in. So the last month was essentially his training camp and his ramp-up period to get there. And what I saw last night was exactly what I heard how last week's G League practices went with South Bay. From as far as I heard, he's using his smarts, he's using his jump shot, he's teaching G Leaguers around him on the floor how to make plays, kind of how he's been able to make the right plays all these years later. Not the high-flying phenom athlete that we've accustomed to seeing from LeBron James. I mean, last night, the fewest field goal attempts of his NBA career in 25 minutes or more.
30 minutes, yeah.
So the fact that he's able to play and still have this impact, I'm not surprised. Ease was the word that I used to describe his play. And the next 2 weeks, LeBron and Lakers doctors will really be working on getting his conditioning, his wind back, and getting it to that place where he feels like he can play 35, 40 minutes.
Right, because that's what he said he needed to work on. His wind is like how my voice sounds, right? He's really trying to work on
baby
that
lungs.
and get it back.
Yeah,
Here's some baby lungs here. But the Lakers, they were off to a 10-4 start, and this is what you alluded to. Some questioned the fit, right, of LeBron James with this team and the impact and the duo. Well, LeBron did have a simple answer to that, Perk. Take a listen.
I can fit in with anybody. I don't even understand why that was even a question. What's wrong with these people out here? I can fit in right away with anybody.
23rd season, it's insane. And just sharing the court with him, it's special. And he sees things that other people can't. So he's here to help us all. So it's amazing. And it's only his first game back, and he played amazing. So I'm excited to play some more.
I thought it was better than expected. You know, he was. We wanted to keep him around 28. He played 29-37, and he would have been able to finish the game had we needed him. So, I thought it was better than expected. But everybody's different. I don't expect it, him getting into peak shape or LeBron shape. I don't expect it to take long.
I don't know, Perk. The team chemistry, it looked pretty good. The Lakers, they put up a season-high 140 points. Yes, it was against Utah. They were able to attack and transition, and the return of LeBron, it really opened up new possibilities for the Lakers' offense here. What impact did you see him having on, what did you call them, the best duo in basketball, Luka and Austin Reeves?
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing with LeBron that always I look for when I watch him play is his body language, right? And his body language showed me last night that he was happy, he was having fun, which means that he believed in his squad and believed in his players. It was these plays, these and ones where you saw LeBron showing emotions, these assists that he was having. Austin Reeves had a 4-point play right here. Watch Bron on this play. Look. just a little brother.
everybody.
Like that was one of them hugs. You know, you got certain hugs where it's like sideways. You ain't really like I mess with you, I don't. But one of them
That was
is
Thanksgiving
different.
hug.
Yeah.
You know?
Thanksgiving hug is a good way to put it. How did you
Talking about defense or transition and what LeBron brings to this group, we're going to talk about the transition because Lakers, as it stands, they're 27th in the league in transition offense and transition points. People ask what LeBron brings. We know LeBron to be a transition offensive player and how he can do that. Even at 41 years old, or 40 years old, not 41 yet. But first, with transition, you got to start with defense, right, Perk? You got to secure the rebound. Gabe Vincent does a great job here, walling up. Look at Bron, boxing out. Austin Reeves secured the long rebound. Even Bron right here, look at him. We're going to highlight him right here. He's the last guy in the pack.
First 3 steps.
First 3 steps, what you talked about, see if he was back or not. These first 3 steps, even though he's behind the pack, he's still very dangerous. And not that he's capable, but he's willing at 40 years old to still run the floor like he is. Austin Reeves, he sees LeBron. Everybody knows where he's at on the floor at all times. Even though he's behind him, LeBron gets the ball here. And this is what LeBron sees. He sees this group right here. There's numbers here. The paint is packed. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. Most normal basketball players see that. LeBron, this is what he sees. Sorry, we're going to go with this vision right here. He sees DeAndre Ayton running the floor. Most guys don't see that. LeBron's IQ, his vision is different than other people. As he sees that happening, he gets the ball, one dribble, scoop pass to DeAndre Ayton. And what do we have? We get the celebration, the handshakes, and that happiness that we see from LeBron. You talked about how happy he was. We got this little emoji thing. Bear with me here, people. We got this little, there we go. Oh, they took it out. They took it out. We got the emoji of the smile emoji. So.
Well, we have some new technology that we've been playing with here on NBA Today. You all asked for some new breakdowns. We heard you loud and clear, and we cannot wait to continue to share those with you. Danny, great job on that.
Thank you.
One area that LeBron really impacted was the Lakers scored a season-high 74 paint points. That's 21 points higher than their average this season, and it was the most paint points in any game, Perk, that Luka Doncic and the Lakers most since February of 2020. We didn't see too many point guards wearing those, did we? So let's get to the game here. This is the Warriors and Orlando. The first night of a back-to-back for Golden State here. Curry, he had a nice first half here, Danny.
Yep, double step back, doing what he does. Pull up the dance moves tonight, too. A little thriller.
And then Quentin Post corrals his own miss, gives it to Draymond Green. And
Jimmy!
Jimmy
Still got it. Reverse.
That looks like I used to see him in Chicago back in the day.
Butler did have 33.7 rebounds in the game. Curry just doing Steph things.
Give him some bird food. Watch him fly by.
What was that?
Give him some bird food.
Let's go to the third quarter here. This is when the Warriors, moving the ball around. This is what they do best.
He dunked that.
Yeah.
Didn't
Find the guy who started it. There he goes.
didn't do the
Pulling up the
shimmy.
dance moves again. Little shimmy.
Moved into 22nd on the all-time scoring list with that 3, by the way. But here comes the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I mean, look, they just kept fighting. They kept clawing. The Orlando Magic are slowly finding their identity.
Ooh.
Okay,
Black.
Texas boy.
40 seconds left. The Magic up 8. Desmond Bane in the corner.
That's why they got him.
Danny Green shot.
They've won 4 of their last 5.
There you go, Dez.
Cue the music. Orlando gets to play their song as they get the win over Golden State, but Steph aggravated the ankle that he sustained, that injury against San Antonio. He is out tonight against Miami, but this injury report, it could look long here, Shams. What more can you tell us?
Malika, not just Stephen Curry out for the Warriors tonight. I'm told Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green are expected to sit as well in Miami. Jimmy Butler's dealing with a back strain. Draymond Green is sick. So this is a team that's looking very short-handed tonight in Miami. They are optimistic that all 3 will be back in the lineup at home against Portland on Friday in the Cup game. But, of course, Stephen Curry, anytime he tweaks an ankle, you have to be careful, especially as he continues on in his career. They're the only team in the NBA, though, Malika, that's played 17 games so far in the span of 29 days and a league-high 5 back-to-backs.
Okay, so probably without their big 3 tonight, Golden State, this would have been Jimmy Butler's second game back in Miami.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Why?
I don't like that he's sitting. He said he had back strains. He just caught a reverse alley-oop. What kind of... Are they going to find them like they find the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Well,
no, probably not, right? But I want to see Jimmy back in Miami.
We all want to see Jimmy back in Miami, but he's done it without Steph before. Maybe he didn't want to do it again. It didn't go well. But the Warriors, they've had a tough start to the season, including tonight. You mentioned it, Shams. They played 17 games in 29 nights. It's the most by far by any team in the league. 12 of those games have also been on the road. And Steve Kerr, he sees the injuries piling up around the league as part of a larger trend.
I'm very concerned. dramatic. The pace difference is dramatic. This team tonight has really upped their pace compared to last year. I think across the league, everybody understands now that it's just easier to score if you can beat the opponent down the floor, get out in transition. But when everybody's doing that, the games are much higher paced, faster paced, and then everyone has to cover out to 25 feet because everybody can shoot threes. So we have all the data. Players are running faster and further than ever before. And so we're trying to do the best we can to protect them, but basically have a game every other night, and it's not an easy thing to do.
And you said you've talked to your medical staff, and they're kind of the belief that that's what's led.
They believe that the wear and tear, the speed, the pace, the mileage, it's all factoring into these injuries.
Did you say 17 games in 29?
Yeah.
I take that back. Jimmy deserves a rest.
Well, he did have some interesting perspective, Steve Kerr did, on a hot button issue. And here are the numbers, right? Over the past 3 seasons, there have been 45 players who've been selected to All-NBA or as All-Stars, and only 13 of those players so far have played in every game this season. And one reason that could be leading to such numbers, it's the pace of play. That's what Steve Kerr was talking about. Teams are playing faster than they ever have, with an average speed being nearly 4.5 miles an hour. And in total, that leads to players traveling over 34 miles a game. Perks, when was the last time you ran 34 miles? Just kidding. But both numbers, they're the highest since tracking data became available in 2013. So Steve Kerr says that he's very concerned that the NBA's increased pace of play, combined with the condensed 82-game season, it's leading to this increase that we're seeing in soft tissue injuries. Are you hearing that sentiment from around the league here, Shams?
So, Malik, I've talked to a bunch of team executives, even people in the medical field in the last 24 hours, just to get a feel on these injuries. And so, pace of play, the force on a nightly basis, this is the league's highest pace of play since, I think, 88, 89. So, obviously, fast-moving game. Another stat that caught my eye that I got wind of yesterday, 9 of the top 30 usage rate players are all sidelined right now. So that's 30% of those top 30 usage players. So 6 of them with soft tissue injuries. I did reach out to the league today, and they told me through 12 games, the amount of star players injuries that have occurred so far in the regular season are actually lower compared to this point in the prior 2 seasons. And the starter level players has been consistent as far as the soft tissue injuries. I am told, though, that the league is launching a league-wide biomechanics assessment program. So more than 500 players have already gone through a level of testing. Okay. There's 4 rounds of biomechanic testing also needed to be done rest of the season. And that's going to be used to optimize exactly how the performance is and try to reduce injuries moving forward.
Perk, are you asleep over there?
No, I just don't feel like hearing all that crying. You doing all that crying, what the babies go do? What the babies go do? You know what I'm saying, Steve Kerr? We wasn't hearing the concerns when you got off to a hot start and y'all started the season 4-1. We wasn't hearing it then. You know, and I'm looking at teams like the Denver Nuggets and Jokic, you know, first team all whack body. They was one of the fastest teams in the league last year, believe it or not. Right. We don't hear him crying. He's playing every single damn game, putting up monster numbers. And then you go to the defending champs. SGA just made a run to the NBA Finals.
He's not playing in fourth quarters right now.
It ain't his fault. They spanking people.
But are you able to separate maybe the message that Steve Kerr is saying from the messenger?
I don't think Perk.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that because you wasn't saying it when y'all got off to a hot start. I'm not saying it's an excuse. All I'm saying is we're seeing other players that are out there competing at the highest level still, elite guys like Jokic and SGA who should be able to take a break at any given time they want to.
I can separate the two. I know the messenger is not the guy he's a fan of hearing it from. But I think if you can start the season a week earlier, end it a week later, that can make a huge difference. And also, All-Star Weekend is not taken seriously, so you could take a day or 2 off that. So if you just add those 2 weeks or extra days, it'll spread out less back-to-backs and probably less injuries. So I think there is a solution. Most old school guys would say they need to play 82 and just lift more. But I think we can do something with the scheduling.
Real quick, though, every team go through the schedule at the start of the season and pick and choose, you know, times that they can find rest periods for their superstars. So I'm just saying.
One of those superstars that is out with injury right now is Giannis Antetokounmpo. What are you hearing, Shams, as the injury bug sort of continues to rear its head here on Giannis?
I'm told it's going to be 1 to 2 weeks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's a low groin strain from my understanding. So they really dodged a bullet here. It could have been catastrophic with groins. You're thinking weeks, not days. So instead of 3-4 weeks, there is optimism. Giannis will be back within this 2-week period. But this is a team that's 8-7 right now. They've lost 2 games in a row.
Yep.
We know the 20-25 game mark for the Bucks, very important. That's really the time that Giannis is looking at to see where this team is.
Well, we will see as we get to Los Angeles. So let's take you out to Crypto.com Arena, where for the first time this season, LeBron, Luka, and the Lakers took the floor together facing the Utah Jazz here. So early in the first quarter, LeBron sees DeAndre Ayton at the top of the key. Walk us through this here, Danny.
Yep, we saw the double coming, weak side tilting, and saw an easy pass for DeAndre for an easy deuce in the middle of the paint.
And he let us know that that's not the first time he's had that. He got that when he was in 8th grade at LeBron's camp.
Yep. And that's where he thrives at his best, out of that low post area, being able to survey the floor, the patience, and all you got to do is cut. He'll find you.
Same here with Marcus Smart. Early in the third quarter.
Yep, same, running the floor, finding guys in the pass lane. Austin Reeves, easy deuce. But they were doubling him all night. He took his time, found guys on the weak side.
And then at the final seconds of the third here, nice find.
Gabe Vincent. Playing quarterback.
Beautiful play there. And then early here in the fourth, LeBron, a nice little bounce pass to Jackson Hayes.
That was nasty.
That was nasty.
Where's the defense?
He had fresh braids. You knew it was coming. A few minutes later, Reeves gets the no-look pass from LeBron.
A little magic.
That's the chemistry they're going to need. That right there, that big-to-big passing.
Next
go again.
Possession.
Look how much attention. Look how much attention. All you got to do is cut and find the open space he's going to find.
No one accounts for
Jake LaRavia and one dunk.
LeBron leads the Lakers to a 140-126 victory with 12 assists. So LeBron was working his magic last night, so we got to go in the bonus. And since it's Thanksgiving right around the corner, right, let's say LeBron, he was focused on the dish. 12 assists, only 1 turnover, but he attempted just 7 shots. That was tied for the 3rd fewest in any game of his career. And ball movement, we just saw it. That was key for the Lakers last night. LeBron spearheaded that effort according to Genius IQ. His touch length was under 2.5 seconds, his shortest in any game since tracking began in 2013. And here is something that really drives home just how much LeBron was trying to acclimate himself into the Lakers, who've been rolling. 81% of his touches on Tuesday, they resulted in a pass. That was his highest rate in a game since December of 2013. And the Lakers, they got a little bit of a favorable schedule here, right? They get 4 days off before they play again. It's a lot of rest time, Perk. What do you want to see from LeBron and the Lakers as they continue to try to gel together?
Well, we know they're going to be one of the best offensive teams because they have the firepower, right? You have 3 guys that not only can create for others, create for themselves, but get others around them better. But I saw last night, and even in those clips, Braun went to that low block. That's what they've been missing, right? A guy that could go down to that low block and get assists in other areas or go get buckets. The one concern, Danny, and I'm going to ask you about it, if you're trying to take that next leap, you got to take it in other areas on the other side of the floor as well defensively.
Yeah, it's a slow process for them on that end. It's going to take some time. But having LeBron on the floor, he's a great anchor and can quarterback a defense. So I think naturally they will get better. But I like what I saw from him. I expect him to do the same going forward. Like, he's not the guy that needs to get 30, but he's very capable of getting 30. He needs to just continue to empower his teammates, build these guys up. Jackson Hayes, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Nick Smith Jr., all those guys need to be Gabe Vincent, another guy. If they can get those guys playing this type of basketball by playoff time, it would be much easier for them to succeed.
And he trusts those guys now. Like, you play with Braun, I play with Braun. If Braun don't trust you, ain't passing you the damn ball.
And I will say the defense did get better in the second half. J.J. Redick said at halftime they had a little discussion about it, and it did turn around against the Utah Jazz in the second half here. So looking to build on that progress a little bit. All right, let's go from Los Angeles to Perk. I don't got it today. I need a little help.
Detroit basketball.
Yeah, big dog.
That's where Duran dominated. It was his 22nd birthday with this melancholy music. So let's check out some of the highlights here. We might have to sing a different tune for you after what we saw from the Detroit Pistons, because Duran would continue to showcase his dominance early in the first quarter here, Perk.
You know what Cedric the Entertainer said on Kings of Comedy? I'm a grown-ass man, dog. That's a grown man right there. Straight up, grown man basketball. Look at that deep seal. And anything around the basket, he's finishing that. He's going, looking for the contact. I didn't know he had this.
He's got a bag, too.
He got a bag, taking you off the dribble. Just unbelievable start to this season for him. But this is what they like to do as well. Get out and run. Cade been throwing it
but they're
down.
healthy.
It's good to see Cade Cunningham back on the floor here. Going ahead to the fourth quarter, jumping here, the Pistons lead by 6. Duren gets the offensive rebound.
Cleaning it up like a fresh bottle of Windex.
I know they're talking about Josh Giddey, but this kid might be for most improved.
He finished with 24 points, 8 rebounds here. Cade gets to his spot, knocks down the jumper. Under a minute to go, that's exactly what they did. Cade drives. Tough player.
That's where he's the difference maker this year. He learned from that New York series to be a clutch player. He's going to be the finisher they need for them.
Cade finishes with 25 points, 10 assists, and the Pistons are rolling. It's 11 straight. And look at this. The Pistons, they lead the East. They have a league-best 11-game winning streak. And that type of turnaround, it's even more amazing when you think where they were exactly 2 years ago. On November 19th, that's today, of 2023, the Pistons, they were on an 11-game losing streak. And now, 2 years later, the exact same date, the complete opposite. The Pistons are firing on all cylinders, 11-game winning streak. Their 13-2 start, it matches their best 15-game start in franchise history. Perk, I know you're fired up about this team.
Hey, you remember what Uncle Elroy said to Sugar? Oh, it's Mr. Nasty Time.
The Nasty Boys.
It's Mr. Nasty.
Nasty Boys.
Hey, I'm telling the Nasty Boys, and it's a real thing. They're the only team in the Eastern Conference with a true identity. That identity is physicality. The one thing that they're going to bring on a night-to-night basis is they're going to be physical. Yes, we're seeing the strides from Jalen Duren, who I believe is knocking at the door of being a first-time All-Star. But that damn Cade Cunningham, he's giving me that Luka Braun type vibe, big guard vibe. And when I say big guard, he could cut you everywhere but loose. You want the perimeter, he's going to give you that. You want the low post area and surveying the floor, he's going to give you that. And now he's snatching the screws out the rim. And just about, you remember look, a couple of weeks ago, you remember a block he had on the break.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a certain type of tenacity and edge that this team has that got me over there looking and saying, nah, that's the new favorites as of right now to represent the Eastern Conference.
No, he's fearless, and their team is fearless. And you said Bron, Luka, I'm thinking SGA. He's looking like the SGA of the East to me, playing at his own pace, taking his time. But what's more impressive to me is how they've gotten wins with him out of the lineup. Yeah. Jalen Duren showing most improvement. Duncan Robinson, B-Ball Paul Reed, Dennis Jenkins, the nasty man who had the sound bite. So they've been playing really good and making good strides. And last year, you said a year ago, they won 11 straight. They ended up losing 28. Question is, can they win 28? That'll be impressive. If they do that, Cade Cunningham, he might be MVP. I don't know about rattling off 28 in a row. That's a lot. But I do think that Detroit has shown that they're not just a sweet. And I caught up with the Cavs all-star guard ahead of tonight's primetime matchup against the Rockets. We're now joined by six-time All-Star Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on the show because you are playing at a bananas level this season. You're averaging a career high in points per game, just under 31 here. Is this something where you came into the year maybe with a different focus and intention?
Yeah, I think obviously Max and DG go down, right? And you understand that there's going to be more expected out of you. I was already planning on taking another step in my game, but I think now even more so, it's like, okay, you know, those guys are out. More is expected of me. You got to go out there and kind of just set the tone. And I've always been a scorer. You know, now the biggest thing is being efficient in all facets of the game. You shocked the NBA the way you started last season. You went 15-0 out the gate. Now, how do you start? When you look at how you start, maybe it's not as important as how you finish. But what's the biggest difference between that team and this year's group, do you think? I think a lot of things just went perfect last year, right? Like we 15-0, multiple 12-game win streaks. Not to say we weren't tested. We had some tests last year, but I think, you know, when you get to the playoffs, it's just a different animal. So we're learning on the fly of how to continuously deal with not just the physical burden, but also mentally. Understand that, hey, we're expected to do more. So when that time comes in the playoffs, be ready to go. I love that you said this week, as you were gearing up to play Giannis, you said, I want what he has. I want a ring. And that's a really big goal, Donovan's. But what is that singular goal, winning a championship? What does it look like on any given day? Those tiny habits maybe that nobody sees. That's the mental that I'm talking about, right? Like obviously physically you can train, and do I feel like I'm physically in the best shape? Yeah, for sure. But obviously it's a mental thing. There are days where you don't want to get out of bed. There are days where you don't feel like boxing out. There's days where you don't feel like dealing with full court pressure. And that's the name of the game. That one possession could change the whole game. You know, I always go back to last year game 2. We were up 20 with about 7 minutes to go or whatever, and so many one mores happened in the wrong way, right? Like I gave up a free throw line block out. Was it a violation? Sure. But like if I box out, he doesn't dunk. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't get the offensive foul. Do we inbound the ball because I'm not tired? Like, you know what I mean? And obviously we all as a collective have our own things, but I can control what I can control. Each individual can control what they can control. And that's all up here from a mental standpoint, being able to push through.
Those tiny control those controllables. And right now you're doing that, right? You're second in the Eastern Conference. And I think sometimes, even as a fan, I expect excellence from you guys. So I look up and I said, oh, okay, you're already at the second in the East, and yet I see even bigger things for you guys. Do you look around and say, okay, this is the biggest threat to us in the Eastern Conference?
Right now, I focus on us. We haven't played our best basketball really in any of these 15 games. I would say we had one game. We had one game where I felt like from top to bottom it was great, and that was against Detroit. But outside of that, we haven't really had a full, complete game. We haven't had a full, complete roster either. So for us to have the success we're having is obviously a testament to our work and our talent, but also we haven't played our best basketball. And you don't want to play. I don't want to play our best basketball today or tomorrow. Or like, you know what I mean? Like I want to continue to build and have our best habits continually grow. And there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be adversity, and just being ready to deal with it. And when the time comes, continue to build. And when playoffs happen, we're ready to go.
Although I will say, having a complete game against Detroit, the way that they've been playing this season,
they're playing well.
Very good team. That's a good one to have here. And you have a big one tonight, right, on ESPN. The Rockets, they're in Cleveland. They currently have the number 1 ranked offense in the league. A lot of it is thanks to the addition of Kevin Durant. I've never played against KD. For those of us who have it, can you just describe what's it like going up against him?
I mean, yeah, he's an all-time great, right? He's a guy that can easily win you games, keep you in games, bring you back into games. You saw that against Orlando the other night. You know, he wasn't really shooting it well, and finally hit his first 3 with a few minutes to go. And the next, his next 3 shots were all dagger shots. And they got Şengün, who's playing phenomenally. Amin Thompson, who's a stud. They got a lot of talent, a lot of size, great coaching staff. So when you go against a guy like KD with what he has around him, they're going to be a tough matchup, but we're ready and we're excited to go.
Don, let's end here if we could. You've been a winning player for your entire career, whether it's in Utah, Cleveland. In fact, you have the best win percentage, for those who follow things like that, of any player in NBA history to never make a conference finals. When you hear something like that, what motivation does it give you to say, you know what, I can do it at any level. I'm going to get there.
Yeah, it's all work. It's all the process, right? It's all like there's so many. You could say, oh, Michael Jordan never got to the finals until his 8th year. I'm not saying I'm Michael Jordan, but what I'm saying is everybody's road is different. I've had opportunities to get there. I've fallen short. I've been injured. There's been expectations where there's so many different scenarios, but every road is different, right? But I'm not going to stop being who I am. I'm not going to stop the work I'm doing, because at the end of the day, the work always prevails, right? Like I always believe that, and I'm going to continue to be 10 toes down in the work and helping being the best leader for this group, because I believe in not only myself, but everybody in this locker room. And I know who I am as a player. I know what I bring to the table. And ultimately, that will definitely prevail. And ideally, it's this year. But, that's just something that, for me, I'm always believing in myself.
Yeah.
And my teammates believe in me, and, going out there being the best leader I can be.
I think that's a message that can extend far beyond just sports or pursuing a championship. That self-belief is always the ingredient you need. Well, I'm not going to ask you about the Browns. We won't do that today. But I really appreciate the time here, Don. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, tonight in our ESPN NBA doubleheader, I couldn't help it. KD and the Rockets will be in Cleveland, taking on Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers. It's at 7 o'clock. And then we have the Knicks playing the second game of their 5-game road trip in Dallas against the Mavericks. Some injuries we got to tell you about in that one. But we'll be with you, NBA Countdown, tipping off our coverage at 6:30. We had some good hoops in the college rankings last night. Let's head to Chapel Hill.
Yay.
North Carolina freshman. Did you see this? Caleb Wilson.
I did
points.
see it.
This was incredible.
This is nasty. Oh, we took off on Perk. Go gadget arm.
That was like Giannis-like, for real.
Nasty.
You can see why he's the number 5 prospect
over 2
on ESPN.com. And that was
Hey,
an
Caleb.
unbelievable dunk. But Danny, it got our producers thinking. Digging.
They got your boy?
Hey, that's not the best dunks. That's the best UNC dunks of all time.
The prime of my career, Perk, right here.
Let's start with number 5. Michael Jordan.
Of course, you got to put
the cradle in '84.
Signature right here.
Absolutely.
Rock the cradle.
And look where he took off from.
Everybody in the world want to be like that.
Straight up.
Try that.
Some great dunkers at UNC. How about Vince Carter?
Yeah, probably the best dunker of all time.
Going up.
I know, probably too.
Yeah. He's got a top 100 windmills. Here you go. Watch out. 2 hands.
Look out below.
Off for one leg.
I seen him catch windmills off the backboard. Vince has done some unbelievable stuff.
How about Jerry Stackhouse?
Forgot about Stack.
This one, I ain't forget about him.
Little reverse in '95.
On Duke, in Canada.
And one.
Go ahead, bob the head, let him know
That
you
was
here.
sick.
Yeah, Stack.
Look, left to right.
On 2 of them.
All right, well,
Against
that's number
Duke.
3.
So you know it was hostile.
At number 2, we got to show love to our friend. Unk Dunk.
Okay. Perkins, I had a little
you got, DG? Okay.
I've seen that one. You probably
Okay, with the little old school hang. Look at the
Degrees had a low fade.
Look at the little fade.
Yeah. Jay Willard, oh man. Yeah, we got them there too in Canada. We got them.
Vince is so nice, we had to put him on here twice.
Yeah.
1996 versus Clemson.
Look out below.
Oh,
Geronimo.
Now, Malika, that's snatching the screws out the rim.
crazy thing
Seriously.
is-
Look at this.
He kind of still do
Nasty.
like
Yeah.